I said hard times create strong leaders. Strong leaders create good times. Good times create weak leaders. Weak leaders create hard times. Guess what phase we're in right now as a country? We have a common enemy. What is this common enemy? This is coronavirus. This invisible enemy is taking us all out. Are you addicted to growing and become the next best version of you? Or is a drug addict or an alcoholic or a gambler more addicted to their fix to get their money for their fix? You're telling me they are about to out-hustle you? So how do you know you're digging deep? Hard times create strong leaders. Strong leaders create good times. Good times create weak leaders. Weak leaders create hard times. Guess what phase we're in right now as a country? We have a common enemy. What is this common enemy? This is coronavirus. This invisible enemy is taking us all out. Imagine this little invisible virus taking out everybody. If a little virus like this can affect so many people, how much more than a faith as a mustard seed can we do for our communities? Imagine if you're actually applying your faith in what you're learning. And out of faith, you actually start calling. Out of faith, you start prospecting. Out of faith, you start asking. Out of faith, you start promoting. Out of faith, you start posting. Imagine what the size of your faith, as big as only a mustard seed can do to combat this coronavirus. But you got to understand, hard times create strong leaders. What do you want to be? What is mental toughness? It's the ability to resist, manage, and overcome doubts. I know many of you, I know I did. We were just asked yesterday on a panel, Matt, were you always confident? No, I wasn't confident. You know why? Because I didn't have a father feeding me an identity. I didn't have an identity of who I was as a Filipino young man in a society where there's no Filipinos. So I had an identity crisis. Mom, who am I? Who am I? I'm this tall, skinny kid in high school. Who am I? Who do I identify with? Mental toughness is your capacity to battle through worries and concerns. I know many people, many of you here right now, trainer. And in normal events where people have to fly out to go put themselves up in a hotel to fly a plane ticket, many of them have to invest financially to get to the big event such as Trainer of last year or big event coming up here in August. And many of you, for that reason, through that faith as big as a mustard seed, maybe those tough times, that resistance creates a toughness in you that you never thought was there. Mental toughness, what is it? Excel towards a task in spite of multiple challenges. Listen, man, I know through entrepreneurship, we're pressed on many sides. I know you're pressed. I know sometimes a lot of you are tired. And some of you say, what is this shovel that's gonna get me out of this pit? And I'll tell you this, the same shovel that got you in this pit ain't gonna be the same shovel that gets you out of this pit. That's why I'm so glad you're here, trainer, learning and investing, taking notes. By the way, most people right now, they're kicking back on their couch. Most people right now taking it easy. Most people are kicked back right now on Facebook and this, and they're distracted. But here's what I know about the people that really want to be mentally tough. You're sitting forward in your chair right now. You open up a fresh page in your notes. Some of you that type faster than you write, you have something different. How do you know you have mental toughness? I believe in this business. Thank God we don't have to lift anything. Thank God you don't have to use your physical body. But this business is all about dealing with human nature and all sides of different human nature. So the phase of this. The phase of this is my test of how mentally tough I was. My phase is coming in the United States Marine Corps, 17, 18 years old in boot camp. On my first deployment to the Persian Gulf War. Came back, breathed a couple breaths in America, kissed the ground, and they say, hey, Sapaula, you're deploying again. We were deployed to the 15 Marine Expedition Unit to deploy to Somalia, Africa. Came back after that deployment. I went on instructor duty. I'm being sent on deployment again. I'm going through battles. I'm going through a divorce. I'm becoming a single dad with custody, residential custody of my kid. 1996, I filed bankruptcy. All these things are pressing, and all these things are conflicting, and I'm frustrated because I'm making $850 every 2 weeks in the military. And my bills are $900 a month. So one thing I learned about myself is if you're not ever pushed to your limits, how you know your limits, and you can push past through that. Maybe you're going through a phase right now. Maybe this is the perfect time. Maybe being in the worst position is actually your opportunity being in the best position. So what's digging deep? Make a concentrated effort, using all your resources. I hate to even say it because it's hurt for me to have to say this. I'm pretty sure you have family members or you know people that are addicts. Who's more addicted to their success or addicted to their fix? Are you addicted to growing and becoming the next best version of you? Or is a drug addict or an alcoholic or a gambler more addicted to their fix to get their money for their fix? You're telling me they are about to out-hustle you? So how do you know you're digging deep? Many have this precious commodity. You have this precious commodity right now, which is time. The world is put on pause. There's an opportunity for you to condition yourself to a new limit. Some people are conditioning themselves backwards. Netflix and chill versus webinar and grow. Or in this case, train a trainer and develop, process, hone skills, get better, drill, practice, rehearse. So therefore, when it's somewhat back to normal, you're rocking and rolling at a much different level. You know, oftentimes people say, well, you know, I'm smart, I get education, I get this. Listen, it's not much you know, not what you think you know. It's about how you think, how you act, and how you grow. See, I was conditioned with this thought process being in a fire team. This is my fire team. I was a heavy machine gunner in a helicopter. It's a 50 caliber machine gun right there. Would you believe that the smallest, it wasn't me that was carrying it, but the smallest, skinniest guy, the guy that's actually holding it, his name is Matt. Smallest, skinniest guy had the mental toughness to dig down deep to carry this thing every time we went up and down the ship, to mount it on a helicopter. He was programming himself to be mentally tough during times, so therefore when it's peacetime, he's drilling himself. We have a saying in the military, the more you bleed in peace, the less you bleed in combat. Wartime leaders, this is a reference video for Value Tim. I suggest you go watch it. Patrick had a video called Two Different Types of Leaders, wartime leader and peacetime leader. Know that a bad day month could be financially catastrophic. That's what a wartime leader faces. He knows that this is it, losing $199, not getting it back again, but they're still willing to go through faith. They're still willing to go through it. That's a wartime leader. And many of wartime leaders are followed because of their charisma, their heart, their emotion, not by their intelligence. Communicate with everybody in different formats, their language, social media, phone call, text message, email, in person, small groups, large conferences. You can connect. You're a wartime leader. Wartime leaders make decisions quickly and swiftly. How do you know you're wartime? You declare your intention publicly. And by the way, one of these things is don't call your ex. I'll let you process that real quick. You know why? Because you're not confident about this new one. Guess what most people do? They call the ex-girlfriend, they call the ex-husband, they call the ex this, they call the ex-job, the life they used to be part of, they don't want anymore. They call that because they have more confidence in that versus going to the uncharted territory. But guess what wartime leaders do? They don't call the ex, they go forward. In wartime leaders, the more chaotic, the more they are calm, the more they are active, the more they can be trusted, the more they can be relied upon, the more they can be called upon. And does it pay off? You know, Sheena and I, for a while there, a lot of people don't know, we talk about being a millionaire. What Hector and Erica Del Toro, what Jose and Marlene Gaetan, what we all have in common as seven-figure incomers, part of the seven-figure squad, is that all of us came from scratch, zero, dirt. All of us had pushed back against the wall and life is just beating us up, pushing us back. And guess what entrepreneurs allow us to do? Allow us to play offense. Allow us to do the rope and double fight back. Is it all worth it? You hear about their lifestyle. Is it worth it? That's why we respect our speakers so much. So I respect the people that talk from us versus outside of PHP because we all go through the same pit. When you're looking at the house that we just purchased, when you look at the car, the former NBA player bought his Rolls Royce. The family, the look that our kids give us, because when we say something that we follow through with it, they look at us with a different level of respect. By the way, we have different layers of kids. I have a 24-year-old son today. My twins are 19 years old. We have a son that's 9, and we have a 1-year-old. And these kids are looking at mommy and daddy differently. Because when they say something, they follow through. When we challenge, you get pushed. Hey, everything in our family, you got to earn. Yeah, you got to earn it. We ain't going to give it to you. Just because you go to a high school and everybody's getting a BMW at 16 years old doesn't mean you are. Hello, there's your legs. That's your car. Walk. You got goals. You hit your goals, you get a car. You don't hit your goals, you don't get a car. What do you want to do? You want to be a wartime leader, babe? Or you want to be a peacetime leader? The Sapaula family is building wartime leaders. Great companies are shapeshifters and can maneuver quickly as they grow and as the markets in which they compete change. I hope that if you take this, you understand where you're at. As you put it all together after this trainer, what do you want to be? What do you want to be in the next 3-4 months? What's going to happen? What's going to happen through the pandemic? Could you imagine what type of leader and builder you're going to be through this pandemic? Like, think about this real quick. I am the first to in my office to become a marketing director. I am the first to in my office to be a $100,000 incomer. I am the first to be a $1 million point base shop builder through the pandemic. You know why? Because your business, your career is essential. What you do for people is important. So what does it mean in terms of the pocket? Because I know sometimes for many of you, so this is really pay off. This is really pay off. This is my doubt. But let me encourage you in that thought process right quick. Are we waiting on a stimulus check? Are we waiting for President Trump to send us $1,200 because you're single, or $2,400 because you're married, and $500 for every kid that you have, assuming that you're making less than $150,000 a year based on means testing on this COVID-19 stimulus check? Or are you creating your own checks? Because he or she that controls your income controls you.